No sound. One sound. Bliss. Bliss is timelessness. All fear falls into silence. Bear the light, face of all. One in destiny. One. Destiny. One.
Ascending, Scorpio moon dripping, light like stars. Light like stars. Light like stars. My path never yields. I am one in destiny. Like stars. Scorpio moon dripping. Light like stars. Light like stars. I walk with Mars ascending, willing in shadow.
Stars above circle around, moon and sun up and down, darkness devours. I walk with you.
Darkness, absorbed, transmuted, exhale. Infinite, infinite. Darkness, absorbed, transmuted, exhale. Into oblivion. Scorpio moon dripping. Light like stars. Light like stars into oblivion. I walk with Mars ascending, willing in the shadow.
Stars above circle around, moon and sun up and down, darkness devours. I walk with you. Stars above
I'll start with my initial reaction, which is it's a long track. It's 7 minutes and change or something like that.
With the intro added. Yeah.
And you know what I love about that being the opening track? Like, it kind of forces you to center yourself and get into it and get into like towards the end, like I felt like, okay, now I'm in this space I need to be in. During the first few minutes, my mind was wandering. I was thinking about, all sorts of things, but it kind of, because there's a hypnotic, something hypnotic about it, and it kind of forces you to be still and get into the mood, which is like perfect for an opening track.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel like as it unfolded and as you were sitting here?
I can't believe it's 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
that-
Well, how
I mean,
long
with
did
the-
it
with the
feel?
intro.
How long did it feel? for you?
Oh, yeah, I guess with the intro.
With the intro.
Yeah.
How long did it feel?
It doesn't feel that long to me.
I-
Because I just
to
get
me-
in a trance.
Yeah,
and-
it is altogether. It is that long, but
You get
yeah,
so lost.
to me, I feel like it's shorter too. But in this go around, I don't know. To me, like now that we're about to put this out, I think I'm actually thinking of it like in the sense of what the history has been of it now, because this is really like the beginning, and really this is the two of you coming together.
Oh, that's right.
And really the first spark.
Very first
Right,
song.
and then I came back in later,
Yeah.
and boomeranged almost around at the beginning,
Right.
even like
Right.
because starting off the song, and it's funny, I didn't even think about it really until like sitting, even though I've listened to the fact that this is going to be the beginning. But right now, us three sitting together, I finally like thought about it just within the context of us creating all the stuff together and the time that we've spent there,
Yeah.
and sitting down to actually hear it in its final, renditions in order is all of a sudden like boom, a concrete thing, where like it made me think a lot about our history of everything, or just even life over the last like year, and how much it's gone, or not even year. This is 2 years
Yeah.
now, right? 2 years now.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, is a completely unconscious choice for that to be the opening track, but it also is literally the very first thing that was any sort of collaboration for me.
Yeah.
For this project, so it's nice how it like completes the circle, if you will.
Yeah.
They
I never-
Ouroboros. How do you say it? Ouroboros?
Ouroboros. Yeah. I never even really.
I think I am one.
I mean, I realized the kind of
We all are.
two book sides of like me starting with the vocals at the beginning and then Tasia coming in.
Right.
But this time, for some reason, it struck me a little bit more than before, and that was interesting. Is like there was the yin yang quality of it that I, as much as I knew was there, like this time around, I felt it more. Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because when both of your voices first come in at the same time, I'm like, oh, they sound so nice together. Because first it's just you, then it's just her, but then once that part hits where both of you are singing together, like to me that's always like a certain warmth that comes through,
Nice.
and I really like just the way that sounds. So yeah.
Compromise formation. Settle the fear, minimal pain. Surrender to the process. Obliterate the pleasure principle.
Repetition, compulsion. Resolve ambivalence. Integrate awareness. Within, without. Resistance always futile. Resistance always futile. Resistance always futile.
Resistance persists.
Resistance always futile. Resistance always futile. Resistance always futile.
Resistance persists.
Trust.
Trust.
You know, it's funny when I first, before I showed the song to you, I was a little worried because it has a very, it's actually, I think, the only song we have that has a classic, verse, chorus, bridge song structure. And it's the only one that has, sort of very by the book chord resolutions. And at first I'm like, is this too normy for you guys? Because I liked it. I have a sort of a bit of a pop, sensibility when I write, but I'm like, is this too much? So I'm so happy that it wasn't.
Oh no, I love it. I love the flow of it, and
It's our dark disco.
yeah, it's the beginning of our
Beginning
dark
of the dark
disco
disco.
Yes.
resistance. Really is. So it's gonna form the future of I think of when it's looked back at, like I think
Too
after,
dark disco. Too, because we're always, just too dark and
too
eerie.
dark, too dark, too disco.
Too dark, too disco.
You know
Too
what?
dark,
That's
too
what I
disco.
want people to say. It's too dark and too disco. Like that would be a
Too
nice
dark, too disco.
compliment, I think. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Go.
something that scares me enough. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for something that scares me enough. I'm waiting for something that scares me enough. I'm waiting for something that scares me enough. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Violent motion wakes the primal sound. Falling bodies to shake the ground. Real life, doomsday. Encircle the circle, accelerate. I'm not hiding.
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 I'm waiting.
I'm waiting for something.
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 I'm not hiding.
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 I'm waiting.
Well, so like unlike the previous song Resistance, this one, what I love about this one is it has no resolution. So harmonically, like it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing,
Yeah.
but it never resolves.
It doesn't. Yeah. Right.
And it fits that song so well. There's like this urgency and this energy, and you never get that release.
Yeah.
And
That's-
I really love that about that. that
You
song.
never get the release, but it does continue to go. Because
Yes.
even when it's stopping, it seems like it goes into its own universe of it's continuing.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love that this is I think this is the first song where the two of you kind of like have these distinct personalities on stage. Like you both have like very different personas.
I'm a velociraptor.
Right. Right. And you're just like, I don't know, this creature emerging
I'm like
from the
coming
void.
of uppins from the abyss.
Yeah.
But it's a guttural thing because it goes back to the impetus thing, right? Like I'm that aspect of impetus
drive.
that like pushes
The
you
gumption.
out of your body and to where all of a sudden action needs to happen.
The fear.
The fear, the fear.
Right?
A little bit. Well, that's why a part of it is like, change sometimes is driven by fear. And sometimes, it's almost like you need to get scared enough to
Something scares you enough to get your gear.
do the thing that needs to be
Yeah.
done.
To do the hard thing, to not just sit and idly consume, to actually do something.
Yes. Impetus.
Yeah. And I love that this forward motion that it has, like, is such a match to the message of the song, where, right, it's about, what's the impetus for change, and it's like the music almost like is the thing that keeps pushing you forward,
Yeah.
and trying to push you past your limits or
Totally.
past where you feel
Well,
stuck.
that's when I hear it, and especially now too through these speakers, I like and I appreciate with the mix that Maurizio's done is the sparkling. Like it just constantly sparkles along, and it just to me, I hear these sparkles constantly, and they start at the beginning and they just continue out to the end, and like you said, even at the dead end, it kind of vaporizes into infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Oblivion.
oblivion.
And in a way, I think this is my favorite track of the album. I don't want to say that because I
It
love
is.
all my children,
Aw.
in their own ways. But I think I like it because it's so different. I think it feels different to me than the other songs.
Yeah.
And it is just like, I always look forward to playing this one live because there's just movement. Like, I want to move to it.
Yeah.
What the two of you are doing is like this really just incredible, like, theatricality to it.
Yeah,
And I think it's the point in the set when people are starting to pay attention. Like I can always tell, like when that song comes on, people are like, this is when the audience level energy rises, and people are like, whoa, what was this?
Nice.
And I just, that's a sign that like something, we're capturing something there, and I think that's cool.
I mean, it demands it. And with our performances, we try to demand it of ourselves, I think,
Yeah.
within that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those breakout moments in that song.
My body. My body. My body. My body. Choose drama. My body. Choose drama. My body. Create the cage. My body. Create the cage. My body. Brave enough to make mistakes. Brave enough to make mistakes. Choose a trauma. Choose a trauma.
All akin to the contract. Work for love, for life. Conform to access. Stress test, obsessed. Constrict, restrain. To the edge, now violate. Submit to contact. Restraint, release.
My body is my own. My body is my own. Choose the drama. My body is my own. Choose the drama. My body is my own.
All akin to the impact. Touch of love, of life. Expose the first crack. Unleash constraints. Snap into place. Anticipate the edge. Embrace the impact. Restraint, release.
My body is my own. 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 My body is my own.
It's interesting listening to these songs like in this way, sort of in sequence and sort of after the fact, because you just approach it differently. It's like you can't tweak it anymore. So I think what happens to me, like my brain goes out of, oh, do I need to fix this or that thing? And I can listen to it just like a listener would. And I just notice like different things. Like what I noticed for the first time on this one is there is this fairly basic kick drum and bass rhythm, which kind of carries the song. It's a very groovy song in that sense, but the synth work is so kind of sparkly and unconventional. It doesn't have like a synth line like Resistance does, where you can just like, okay, here's the synth line, right? It has all these little things that happen, but they don't really carry the track. They're just kind of like ornaments.
They're ornaments, yeah,
and that's that's just how I felt about it for the first time listening now. How did it come across for you?
Well, I always love, just to talk about that stuff. I love that stuff because well, especially in this one, the sparseness of it and the space in between those sounds is so interesting. Like even with the way the intro falls in and the moments where you don't, there's a question as to where things are going to be dropping when they drop, and even though it does fall really into place. But at the same time, like, the space in between, I don't know, allows for more contemplation for me about, like, what these little things are about. And what the emotion is even. Because the emotion, I think, that they carry is a little bit twisted as well. Where it's like, there's something pleasant and there's something painful, right?
There's always something a little off, and I love that. Like each one of the songs has elements where at least for me, I'm like, oh, like that was a little weird, or like where did that come from, or like oh, that sound like didn't expect that, and I really enjoy that.
It's not boring.
Right,
I love it.
right. Yeah,
I love those strange spaces in between. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I love the exploration of this song, but overall, like I had such a good time with it, and a good journey with both of you creating it.
We place our faith upon the altar, seeking peace. We place our face upon the altar and surrender. We place our desire upon the altar, seeking unity. Exalt in name, exalt in the world, within and without. Aletheia. Want me, need me, crave me, beg me. 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 Make me, take me, break me, possess me. Make me, take me, break me, possess me, possess me. Want me, need me, crave me, beg me. Want me, need me, crave me, beg me. Make me, take me, break me, possess me. Make me, take me, break me, possess me, possess me, possess me.
You know what struck me about this version? Because we have an older version of this out there, and the song itself hasn't changed all that much, but except for the violins that came in and just a very different mix, but it feels so much more energetic to me. It just feels there's a density to it that the previous version I don't think had, and I think I really like it, and this is also the first time we had live violins in any of the tracks.
I hear all that you're saying.
There's a lot of detail, especially when you come in and like the second half of the song. I think there's just so much like sonic detail kind of hidden in there. So I actually want to go back and listen to this in over headphones and just like really try to.
It's fine. I was
pick that
actually,
out.
I didn't say it, but I was thinking about that when we were listening to Resistance, actually, too. I was like, because that's another one, we have two, well, this is a newer version as well.
Yeah.
Of Resistance on the album, but yes, I felt that way with Resistance, and it's awesome that you're bringing it up now later. Yeah.
I was actually curious about you, Anastasia, because when we do this one live, it feels like you're so exposed in the beginning because there isn't a lot of music and like the focus is on you.
It's
How does
very
that feel?
uncomfortable. It's terrible. So this whole song is all about kind of like I would realize after I write these things, the fear of being seen kind of juxtaposed with the need to be seen, and ultimately I guess it's like the loss of autonomy and love, and feeling like I don't know, feeling controlled in some kind of way when you realize that there's nobody actually controlling you because we are all one, really. So just remembering that you are an empowered being,
Yeah.
sovereign.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you have something to say, Jacob?
Oh, well, for me, like, well, going back to All is the All, and the end message of the song, where it ends vocally, I think for us within this and a lot of our music, and for me personally, I should say, that it reflects my concept of like what radical love is. In many ways, and that being, kind of ultimate acceptance, and not being acceptance in a state of extreme pacifism or anything, but acceptance in what is and what's around you, and acceptance that all of life is there to be together. And deserves to be together with itself.
So it is.
So it is. And within that, I think it goes towards tolerance as well.
image, worship, adoration, war, limitations void in the unisex nexus.
I eat boundaries. I eat boundaries. Looking for an idol. False. False. Looking for an idol. False. False. False.
Embodied opposites in trance, in form, aligned, divine, balanced in source.
False. False. I eat boundaries. I eat boundaries. Looking for an idol. False. False. Looking for an idol. False. False.
Opposites embodied in line, divide, advance, deform, balanced in source.
False. False. Looking for an idol. False. False. Looking for an idol. False. False.
Vessel's visage vacant at a glance contracts. Shame feeds the monster, feeds shame. Viral image, nation, veneration, law. Invocations void in the unisex nexus.
I eat boundaries. 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 I eat
So I'm baffled by this song for myself
Why is
personally.
that?
After now having this point of this album, because this is the first song that I worked on with the two of you, and when we do it live, I feel like I fall into a trance all the time with this song, and almost to the point where I'm like, oh gosh, I need to start doing something. and then usually like the singing just kind of takes over, but it's very interesting with this song that like I still like I love to dance to it so much, and it gives me so much energy when I'm on stage, and I just like fall into it and get like wrapped into it. And even with what we started doing more frequently on stage, where you'd kind of pick up my limp body and set me into motion, and that setting in motion always, like now even more, feels like I'm slowing down and falling into a trance at the very beginning of the song just to enter it.
Enter us.
But it's funny that it's carried that energy, since we made it, and I love it a lot.
It's easy to fall into it because it's the most simple song on the album.
Yeah.
And there are times when I worry about that, and then I need to remind myself there's a lot of music out there that is even simpler, and it's fine.
But why does that worry you?
And it may be simple, but it actually is quite contextual.
It's
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I gotta remind
subtext
myself,
and
like even just the lyricism of it, like the line "shame feeds the monster feeds shame." Like
Yeah.
I love that line so much, and there's like so many. I think about that. It makes me think, and
It's true.
makes me and so I have to realize that
So as
there's-
long as you have shame, you are a monster, basically. The idea is to become shameless.
and in a way, I think the live expression, like, to me, translates like that. Like, there is sort of a shamelessness to the way. I think you two are yeah, bring that to life.
Yeah,
At least
that's
that's how
interesting.
I read it as an
Yeah,
observer.
right. Because even in the end, like we've even ended. I mean, we ended a little collapsed. You know.
I don't even remember how we ended it last time.
We pretty much a classic ending of collapsing into each other and
I don't
you
even
know
remember
and
it.
kind of embracing and breaking down but being together. You know, like yeah, I don't. It's an interesting final moment and you know also with the way that your lights work on stage, like your lights do an
And they're
awesome
like flashing us in a
thing.
trance.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
everything is flashing and we're, you know, and it does make me want to pause when we had the idea to stand there and pause for that moment.
Right.
You know, it feels right
Yeah.
for the
yeah.
action.
Yeah.
In line, in place, negate, endure, predator, manipulate, exploit, dehumanize, divide, survive. In line, in place, negate the change, endure the pain, zero sum, predators, manipulate, exploit, dehumanize, divide, survive.
Peace to the masses, oppressed eyes, will fed in comfort, passive and blind. Freedom from thought, distressed minds, each step in panic, vulnerable lives. Sweet sacrifices, innocent eyes, timid and tame, the compliant kind. Freedom from thought, dependent minds, each leap in panic. Animal lives, security fails us, all in due time. Sincerity smiles, bloodlust eyes, common afflictions, casualties rise and fall in status quo.
In line, in place, negate the change, endure the pain, zero sum, predators, manipulate, exploit, dehumanize, divide, survive. In line, in place, negate the change, endure the pain, zero sum, predator, manipulate, exploit, zero sum, predator, dehumanize, divide. Zero sum, predator, manipulate, exploit. Zero sum, predator, dehumanize, divide.
There are songs that are that kind of come together quickly, like Resistance, for example, like pretty much just poured out, and after a couple of hours, kind of was done. I'm talking about from the music songwriting perspective, and this song was not like that at all. Like I had to work on this one. Like this one, I remember this must be like 30 plus versions out there.
Yeah.
And I remember tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. And usually that's a bad sign. Usually if you have to keep pushing and keep pushing, that's just like, it usually tells you, like the bones of it are just not good enough. But you know what? In the end, I'm really happy the way it came together. And it really, I guess it goes to show there really is no recipe, or there's really no heuristics. Like, okay, sometimes it's an easy job, sometimes it's just a hard job, and you have to put the work in, and it still comes out great. So this one, I do remember, like there were times where I wanted to throw it away. I'm like, this is never gonna go anywhere. But sometimes you just gotta keep at
That's
it.
funny.
Why is it funny?
Well, I think for me too, it was that, or not. Well, so no, it was a struggle. I think for us, like, because we never felt like the song was fulfilled until that last part, or that other vocal part was written for it. And before we kept considering a different kind of song,
Right.
And maybe that was also your struggle with it too, is that it really didn't come together until we wrote those other vocals.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I mean, those other vocals came months after the original
for
kind
sure.
of idea of it, and we almost thought that the track was going to be something else, more of a atmospheric type of techno track or something.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like all of a sudden it came to be more of the thing that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Distant light falls
Nice. I like that fade out at the end.
And in a way, especially because Jacob's last words are an unfinished sentence, that is such a beautiful, almost like open-ended, like invitation to the next album. You know, yeah.
Yeah. Open door. Enter us.
Oh, Jeffrey's crying. Oh, you're gonna make me cry too.
Yay.
I can't help myself. Yeah.
Yeah. This one makes me well up a lot too.
Me too.
It's
Do you want to use my scarf?
Can I have the glasses?
okay. You get to hide
Okay,
for a
thanks.
moment.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't. I still can't really. I still can't really listen to the song without crying.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be hard
It's
live.
gonna be really hard live. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna happen live.
We'll make do.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I think we should probably give a shout out to some of the vocalists on this. There's a lot of talent coming through.
That's a
Like-
huge part of all of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, the willingness of people to wanting to collaborate and just like the beauty of how how it all came together. Like that to me is really touching. For people to literally lend their voice and and do such an incredible job. So.
Yeah.
We had Annalisa from Glory, which is a local darkwave project.
Yeah, Jana Cushman from Dark Swoon.
Dark Swoon, local shoegaze band. Vince Christian from Die Robot, another local band.
And Todd Gremmel,
Todd Gremmel, Berlin based.
Yeah.
Yep.
German based.
And Scott Baker Graham. Yes.
And also Sid.
Sid.
Yeah.
Sound Shadow Collective.
From Sound and Shadow Collective.
So, yeah, I think I'm a little at loss for words because this is kind of how the song hits me too. Like
Yeah.
I'm almost like it doesn't need words. Like it just delivers this like emotional punch, and I almost don't want to mess it up by talking about it too
Yeah, you
much.
just gotta fade out
I-
to heal the world.
Yeah.
I'm more ready to put the song out there than I am to talk about it in that sense. And I'm willing to cry on camera to show you how I feel about it. And that's where I am.
And I think that is a
That's fair,
beautiful way
Jacob.
to end this.
Cheers.
Yes.
I'm so happy to have made this with you both. And
Same.
Thank you.
We did it, and
We
it came
did.
together so well.
Oh,
Yes.
and thank you so much, Chris.
Yes. Thanks for having us on the show again, Chris. I really appreciate your support, and yeah,
Yeah.
I think we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
We are Ceremony Shadows, and that was Ascension.